Good morning, everybody. I'd like to take a few minutes of your time today. My name is Joshua Sharp. I'm the Regional Sales Manager for North Central for Tsugami America, and I'd like to introduce the Tsugami SS38MH5AX. So we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the configuration and the capabilities of this machine this morning. So, what we have here, obviously the name's pretty long on this machine, but I wanted to, just kind of go through the nomenclature a little bit. So if you see any Tsugami machine that's called an SS, that means it's like the highest capability and highest functionality of any Tsugami machines. The 38 means it's a 38 millimeter or 1.5 inch capacity for the main and the sub spindle on this machine. The M would be a mill turn or multifunction type machine. The H is a high precision machine, and then the -5AX means it's full 5-axis capable. So, the unique things about this machine is it's a 38 millimeter sliding headstock CNC Swiss machine. It's also chucker convertible, so we can run this machine with the guide bushing or without. And, it's built on the architecture of a machine with a tool changer. So one of the unique things about this machine is it's got a 40 station tool changer that holds Capto C4 tooling and a built-in milling spindle that gives you some real milling capabilities inside of a sliding headstock Swiss. So main spindle, 7,000 RPM, 7.5 horsepower, 38 millimeters. Your sub spindle, again, 7,000 RPM and 38 millimeters or 1.5 inch diameter capacity through the sub. And then this milling spindle, again, holds Capto C4 tooling, maximum of 20,000 RPM and 15 horsepower. So that really gives you the capability to do those prismatic parts efficiently and powerfully with this machine. So again, with the mill tool spindle being built in, we can hold 40 tools. So this machine is really ideal for parts that have lots of intricacy. Also for manufacturers that make parts in a low volume but high mix sort of environment, a machine like this can be tooled up to hold multiple setups at the same time. When you look at this, oftentimes, we tend to think of all of our machines as turning machines here at Tsugami, but when you look at this, it's really a small parts manufacturing solution. So because it's got the milling capabilities that it does, it's really a lot of the parts that my customers are making on this machine are really 5-axis milled parts. And it's just a very nice, machine that's built for continuous production, and it's bar fed, so it can be run automatically and do complete parts from bar stock all the way to coming out the machine, deburred. All you have to do is clean your parts and put them in the box and ship them to your customers. So another couple of features about the machine that are nice, if you just look inside here, you'll see that there's a back working block in the machine. You can see on the camera now, he's zooming into it. You have a total of 10 tool positions back there. So 5 of those tools are driven tools. They are ER16 collets, and they're modular type spindles. And then the other 5 would be static tool positions for turning, on-center drilling, boring, tapping, and things like that. So, with that capability, we can use the sub spindle against this back working post for overlap machining, where you can really optimize your cycle times by using the sub spindle against those tools while you're using the tool spindle against the main. But also, that tool spindle has 210 degrees of B-axis rotation, and that allows you to address the main spindle and the sub, and it's capable of doing full continuous 5-axis work on both sides of the part. Another key feature about the machine would be we equip this with the FANUC 31i B5 controller. So this really gives you all the tools you need to do 5-axis manufacturing right out of the box with the machine. So with the 31i B5, we're going to give you all the FANUC options. You get AICC extended look ahead. So that's that feature that looks many lines ahead in the program to pre-plan moves when you're doing the 5-axis work. You also get nano smoothing, tool center point control, and tilted coordinate system along with the machine. And one other really nice feature that we include on the control is FANUC's fast data server. So on board with the machine, it's got a 4 gigabyte memory card that allows you to store those larger 5-axis machining programs on the machine as standard. So you don't have to purchase any extra foreground memory, and you don't have to go through the process of drip feeding, larger milling programs, which tend to be lengthy. So, again, all the tools right out of the box to do that 5-axis manufacturing. And as I'm talking about the naming convention of the machine, one of the things that I'd like to point out is that this machine's really set up to be a very high precision sort of a machine. So that H in the SS38MH means high precision. So on this machine, it actually includes Heidenhain glass scales on 4 axes. So your X1, your Y1, your Z1, and your X2 axis have scales out of the box. That's a standard configuration for this machine. When you look in here, 40 stations in the tool changer, 10 on the back working block, and then we also have 2 deep drilling stations mounted below the subspindle that allows you to process longer drilled holes in the machine, and really gives you that capability of making complete parts in one setup. A couple other things that we do for this machine, since many of the parts are prismatic in nature, we also have some options to put a 2-jaw chuck on the subspindle for this. You're going to get that as a package with a coolant-powered gripper that's capable of removing the parts from the subspindle when they cannot be front ejected by conventional means. And then we make some modifications to the parts catcher. So even those milled parts that we're chucking on with an unconventional method can still be automatically removed from the machine, and they'll be carried out via the parts conveyor system that's standard on the machine into a collection box that's on the outside. A couple other things that's really important to point out: there are many of these mill turn type machines in the marketplace, but the Tsugami SS38 represents a very compact platform. So what you see here takes up about 64 square feet of your floor space, which is nice in today's day and age. Shop space is at a premium. Real estate's very expensive, so having a compact machine to make those parts up to 1.5 inch diameter work is a really nice thing. And then in that 64 square feet of floor space, this machine weighs over 15,600 pounds. So it's got a solid one-piece mehanite-based casting, and all of the axes are built in an orthogonal configuration. We don't have any compounds on this machine. So altogether, when you combine the glass scales, the mass and rigidity of a machine like this, and the cooling that the Tsugami builds into the machine, you have a machine that's very capable of holding extremely close tolerances. A lot of times we find customers in the medical industry that are using this part to make spinal implants and things of that nature. One other thing, I guess, Dave, if you could just maybe move over here, we'll show the tool magazine on the machine. So as you can see, there's 2 rows in the magazine, 20 tools in each of those positions, and they hold the Capto C4. You'll notice that dual contacts, really nicely balanced tool holding system that allows us to take advantage of that 20,000 RPM spindle on this machine and gives you that tool capacity that you need to make those really intricate parts.